So here's a thought for you. Most universities, they start with a library, maybe a grand old building. But this one started with a fertilizer plant. Today, we're going to unpack the absolutely incredible story of how Pakistan's booming industry ended up creating one of its top engineering institutes, the NFC-IET. Which brings us to the big question, right? It's really the heart of this whole story. How on earth does a place full of chemicals and heavy machinery give birth to a full-fledged federal university? I mean, it sounds like a riddle, but it's not. It is exactly what happened. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with its wild factory origins. Then we'll trace its industrial beginnings and its huge leap forward into becoming a university. After that, we'll take a peek inside the modern campus and finally wrap up with its legacy and some of the more recent challenges it's faced. Let's dive in. So our story really starts with a really big problem that needed a super practical solution. I want you to picture this. It's the mid-1980s in Pakistan. The country is going all in, building these massive, cutting-edge fertilizer plants. But there was a catch, a huge one. They had all this incredible high-tech machinery, but almost nobody who knew how to actually run it. This critical shortage of skilled workers was about to bring the country's industrial dreams to a grinding halt. So this national crisis is what sparked the whole thing. The goal wasn't to create stuffy academics with PhDs. It was to build a highly specialized workforce, and they needed to do it fast. The idea they came up with was, for the time, pretty radical. They called it hands-on technical proficiency. This wasn't about burying your nose in a textbook. The concept was simple. Trainees should spend just as much time with grease on their hands in a workshop as they did sitting in a classroom. Practical skills first, everything else second. And this made it completely different from a traditional college. I mean, it was night and day. While other colleges were focused on theory and handing out degrees, the NFC Training Institute had one single laser-focused mission: create graduates who could walk straight out of the classroom and immediately run a complex chemical plant. No messing around. But here's the thing. Industry never stands still, right? It evolves. And so the institute had to evolve with it. This kicked off a period of just massive transformation, what we're calling the Great Leap Forward. This timeline really shows you the key moments. In '85, it's just a training center, but the first huge leap happens in 1994. It affiliates with Bahauddin Zakariya University, and this was a total game changer because now it could award official engineering degrees. But the ultimate step, the final transformation, came in 2012, when an act of parliament made it a fully autonomous federal university. That meant it could finally shape its own destiny. And this quote from their own website just captures their spirit perfectly. It's not about being stuck in the past. It's about being a dynamic, you could even say radical force that's actively shaping the future of technology in Pakistan. Okay, so we've covered the history, but what does that place, the one born out of pure industrial necessity, actually look like today? Let's hit pause on the timeline for a second and just explore the modern university. This is where it gets kind of wild. From that one single focus on chemical plants, it has just exploded. We're talking over 17 different academic departments. And the range is just staggering. You've got the stuff you'd expect, like chemical engineering, but then you also have artificial intelligence, environmental science, and get this, even fashion design. Talk about diversification. You can really see their strategy here. The university is still totally grounded in its engineering core. That's its foundation. But it has aggressively pushed into the digital frontier with things like AI and computer science. It's moved into creative fields like architecture, and it's even got its own business school. It's a very clear, very smart move to stay relevant in a world that is constantly changing. So how does a federal university like this compete for the best of the best? Well, they use this really clever two-track system. For all the admin and support staff, they use the standard government pay scale, the BPS. But for their top-tier PhD-level professors, they use something called the tenure track system, or TTS, which is performance-based and offers much higher pay to attract the best researchers from around the world. All right, let's zoom out for the final section and look at the big picture, the incredible impact this institute has had on the nation, and also some of the serious hurdles it's had to deal with recently. It's all part of its ongoing story. First things first, its main legacy is that it literally serves as the industrial backbone of Pakistan. To this day, it's the single largest supplier of engineers and technicians to the country's heavy industries. We're talking fertilizer, cement, oil, and gas. It is quite literally the engine room of the nation's industry. And on a local level, it's become a huge economic hub for its hometown of Multan. The campus has basically created this mini economy all around it, supporting thousands of local businesses, from apartments and restaurants to shops and transportation. But that local impact is matched by a national one. Because it's a federal institute, it has a mandate to promote national unity. It does that by reserving seats for students from every single province and region of Pakistan, which turns the campus into this amazing, genuine cultural melting pot. But, no story is without its bumps in the road. And recently, the university has faced some pretty significant administrative issues. In 2024, Pakistan's Supreme Court had to step in, ruling on some irregularities in how the vice chancellor and other key people were appointed. This led to a period of court-ordered reforms, which even included a temporary stop on all new admissions. It's definitely been a turbulent chapter in what's otherwise been a remarkable story. And all of this brings us to one last really crucial question. This university was built to solve a 20th century industrial problem. But what happens when that very industry starts to digitize, to automate, to change completely? What is the future for an institution like this, built for a world that's, kind of disappearing? That's definitely something for all of us to think about.